Hi, I'm John. This is my show, Orange is the New Black Cards. So these are the, these are those sports card radio butt brothers. So these dudes are all about like flexing, right? They're real hyped up about flexing and everything. They want to flex, right? And so they're constantly saying, "Oh, you live in your mommy's house," and shit like that, right? So okay, I grew up in California, so I understand what real estate looks like in California. Plus, I understand the scenario of me being a kid, and I would go to my friend's grandparents' house, and they would have a big swimming pool and shit, right? And their house would look a certain way. So I understand what housing in California looks like that's 50 years old, okay? So what this is, these butt brothers, this house is their dead grandparents' house. This is their dead grandparents' house that their parents, because for tax reasons, they don't want to sell the house. If they sell the house, then they have to give a cut to the government, okay? But if they just keep the house and let family members sleep in it and they don't rent the house out, then they don't have to like do anything with taxes. They just can own the house. And then so what they want to do is just own the house. They don't want to like rebuild it and make it all modern and shit. They just want to own it and let the prices keep going up and up and up until it gets to a point where they sell the house. So what you can tell by looking at this house is when you see those palm trees are old. Okay, those are palm trees that their grandparents would have put in when they bought that house 50 years ago. Okay, when you look at the house behind them, and this is why they're only showing you like the pool, because they don't want you to actually see the house. The house, to me, when I look at that house, it looks 50 years old. It looks like it's got a flat roof and stuff, right? And the housing, the color of it looks old. This is an old house, which means these two dudes who are all about the flex, what you have to do is like mentally, you have to get into the state of mind of them. If these guys were purchasing a house, would they buy a modern house with like vaulted ceilings and tile roof and all that stuff? Or would they buy a 50-year-old house because it's got a swimming pool? And I can tell you, I know the mindset of these guys. They would not buy the 50-year-old house that's got the swimming pool. They would want the modern house. That would be their flex. They want a house with vaulted ceilings, with tile roofs. That's what modern houses look like. They don't build houses like this anymore in California. These houses, once this house gets sold, they will tear that house down. That's also a thing that the parents probably don't want to see happen, is they don't want to see their parents' house torn down, because they probably grew up in that house and shit, right? They've got a lot of memories in the house. That's why they don't want to sell the house. So what they allow is they allow the two Butt brothers to live in the house for free, which means they don't even pay property tax, because property tax on a house like that in California is easily $10,000 a year. You know, so I don't believe these, and they probably don't pay rent. They probably don't do anything. They pay the utility bills, you know, and they take care of themselves. They get their own food, and they do their stuff and stuff. They can manage themselves. They can afford to take care of their basic, simple lifestyle and shit, right? It's like that house they were just up in the mountains. That's not their house. That's their parents' house. That was probably their grandparents' house, and the parents use that house now. But it's family properties. These guys, this house that they're at right here, they did not buy that house. There's no way that these two dudes would have bought that house. They would have bought a house that's a modern house, that's all fancy with big vaulted ceilings. Because if you look in the back, look at the house. It's got like a flat roof, which means when you go into that house, the ceilings are low. They have low ceilings because that's the way houses were built 50 years ago in like California. I'm from Los Angeles area and shit, right? So this would be common to what I would see when I went to my friend's grandparents' house. This is exactly what it would look like. This is not their house. They would not buy that house, because I can understand the psychology of these guys. They would not have purchased that house so that they could have the nice swimming pool. That's their grandparents' house who died. They're living in their dead grandparents' house and using it as a flex over the sports car community. How pathetic.